Hello and welcome to 2025. This is the state of HAX in 2025. I am incredibly excited both for where we've come in the last year, but also for where we're going. I started tagging things in our issue queue as the year 2025 in 2015 when HAX was an idea on a whiteboard. So to go from that to where we are now and where we will be at the end of the year is ridiculous. Let's go. HAX Lab is born. We have a lab at Penn State dedicated to HAX contributions and learning the web and AI using HAX as a vehicle. IST students at Penn State are able to take internships and achieve independent studies learning about these two critical technologies that will enhance their careers, while at the same time contributing to open source projects, the HAX ecosystem. HAX forms a backdrop so that students solve problems that IDs, faculty, and other students have. We now speak about HAX as a ubiquitous web authoring platform. It is a web editor and content management system that writes static content. It's easy to use, fast, open, portable, accessible, remixable, and we've gone through a community audit of our language around what the pillars of our community are and why these are so important. It's important to meet our users where they are, not where we wish them to be. To that end, HAX is able to create sites from Word docs, from existing HTML, Markdown. We can point at existing Drupal 7 sites and instantly have them imported as HAX sites. Elms LN sites can be pointed to the URL and ingested. Existing HAX sites can be pointed to and remixed. We want to meet people at the lowest common denominator to participate on the web. You should not need to know what the web is to do everything with it. You can create courses, blogs, sites, and more right now at hax.psu.edu if you work at the university or are a student here. You can also go to hax.cloud, a new service made over the last year that has involved lots of demos, links off to all of our various projects, but also very exciting technology known as web containers. Recapping year one with HAX Lab. This is all things that have happened in the last year. We adopted and created a design system that we codenamed DDD. This is based on Penn State's design system. DDD, as named by the student in question, is short for Design, Develop, Destroy. Sorry, Develop, Design, Destroy, I believe is what it was. It's in there somewhere. Devious name. The reason being, once we have developed a platform and it's well designed, it will destroy the competition. There are 3 Penn State-based designs that use DDD. Now, I say Penn State-based, they do not have Penn State branding in them. They use color schemes and spacing that the university is working towards standardization on. All of the blocks in our portfolio have now been made to conform with DDD. This doesn't mean that the sites you make instantly look like Penn State, but it does mean that everything feels like it goes together because of consistent spacing, line width, and color choices. In the last year, we have made a command line version of HAX. This also implies that HAX has been ported from PHP to Node.js. We now simultaneously support PHP and Node.js based versions of the platform. A command line interface allows users that know how to use the command line to invoke HAX in many commands just by typing HAX start. Shown on the right, the ability to create sites as well as create web components. This tooling has been pioneered and integrated directly into the IST 256 curriculum that I teach. This allows students in the classroom to learn how to be modern web developers, build things in web components, and find issues and rough edges around our tooling for our community and directly report issues and contribute to it. As a result of having a CLI, we can now have Playground. The CLI hooked up to an incredibly transformative technology called web containers, which is an open source project made possible by StackBlitz. You can check this out by going to playground.hax.cloud. There you can see that it starts what appears to be a server and a terminal that's running directly in your browser. This works across all platforms and is a great way to get a sense of what HAX does without having to install anything. So, in the last year, new themes that are sharp looking. We've got web containers that allow for demos of whatever we want and testing that have dramatically improved QA. We've got our own command line interface, and these things, for experimentation purposes, are being wired up to Claude and Olama in order to process human language and automatically build HAX websites. As a result of these standardizations and growth of our community, we have been able to finally nail down a roadmap of what our priorities are for this year. There are currently 7 students as of this recording in early 2025 that are working for HAX Lab towards these roadmap items. Our major priorities for the year are to continue to invest in the DDD theme design system, clean up and integrate more themes with this, as well as make new designs, such as a portfolio theme currently in development. We're going to start to speak about our system in use cases, not themes. This involves rewriting the dashboard for HAX so that you don't have to start a journey and then pick what you're going to make. Instead, you'll select a use case, which will fundamentally be driven by recipes, a new standard that has been made possible via the command line interface, and it's how our AI system works. The CLI is going to be worked on even more so that we can simplify things for theme developers and new contributors. We're going to standardize things internally, which also involves moving all of our ELMS-LN based courses over to HAX.psu. This is something internal, but it also implies that we will have the ability to have private spaces on HAX.psu.edu, something that ELMS currently makes possible. For those of you not aware, HAX spun out of ELMS, and HAX runs on top of ELMS, so that our users, when they take online courses in our unit, even if it uses ELMS, they're getting HAX. We're also going to continue to invest in the AI experiments that are currently underway. Things like being able to build websites from human text, digital tutors that understand and learn the content of a HAX site to suggest improvements, questions, and quizzing tools. We're also hopefully going to start to integrate AI tools directly into the HAX platform. So the future ahead is bright, and we'll show where we are currently in a moment. But we're going to work on more Penn State specific themes that have branding, footer, and language of the institution standardized so that when users here create a site that's supposed to look a certain way, it does. AI directly integrated into our dashboards. We're going to have a try out button so that AI created recipes in our playground can be launched as full sites. You're going to be able to share site recipes, AI and non-AI generated ones. So if you make a site, you configure it, customize, you should be able to give the recipe of that site to another person. And it should be able to be something they could click and use easily from the dashboard. We're going to train the models, the AI models we have, to improve the tone of voice so that it sounds more like the topic matter in question, whether that's courses or marketing sites. We hope to build something that is an ID and faculty BFF, a tool that they can use to prototype, expand, and grow rich online experiences with. And we'll look at cheaper models, localization, and open APIs. This is an initiative between IST, College of Information Science and Technology, and the College of Arts and Architecture at Penn State. And we're always seeking additional collaborators, internal and external to the university. The College of Education currently has faculty members pursuing multiple grants with HAX as a backdrop. If you want to contribute but you don't know how, you could just simply use it. Submit needs, come up with things that you didn't understand, tell us what it doesn't do so that we can put students on the path to learning by solving these UX problems. You can join our community by going to hax.psu.edu, hax.cloud, or bit.ly/hax-discord to join our Discord channel. With that, let's see a demo. This is the new hax.psu.edu. And by new, I mean this wasn't here at the beginning of 2024. All right. You can install it in the terminal and get started by copying and pasting that. You can see at the moment, we've got over 10,000 pages of unique content in this system. In the last year, this has been adopted by the Launchbox, which is an external group, using this to communicate about training and how that you can help your small business. Right? This runs standalone. This was used on hax.psu.edu to engineer the content initially, get up to speed, and then effectively hitting download and put on its own custom server here. Let's see, we have playlists, something else that didn't exist last year. Lots of different courses, including the online documentation for the system. We've also got the docs site. So haxtheweb.org has been completely redone. You can learn more about the community, past events, but more importantly under community, the pillars of our community, expressed as these 7 ideals. That things must be accessible, efficient, extensible, free and open, platform agnostic, remixable, and sustainable at all times. We seek to maximize these things so we can build the best, most ubiquitous authoring experience the world has ever seen. You can learn more about each of these initiatives, whether it's sustainability from an environmental or technological perspective, what it means for something to be remixable, features of something that must be free and open, and far more. You can dive into our roadmap, see our terminology, understand more about what HAX is in the low levels, all the way down to the fact that it's built on custom HTML tags. So to demonstrate the platform, might as well use the CLI to build a new site right now. Let's make it look like the institution in question. It's going to launch locally. And I've got a brand new HAX site. It's gorgeous. I can go and add content, move things around just like I always could. Let's nest some of this material so we get a sense for how the menu works. And we'll duplicate some things. That just created 11 pages of content. It put them in the hierarchy as such, and you can see that our design work allows us to follow a breadcrumb trail, but also that we've got this submenu of items. So I'll clone this so we get a couple more. Wow, a child, just see what that looks like. All right, we'll go over to this page. We'll clone that. All right, and you start to see the way that this design implements the hierarchy. Right, that I can dive into these different aspects of it. Editing has been improved, as it always is, year after year, item after item, one line at a time. We've now got access to DDD's color spectrum, and you can see even right there, in something I'm not even thinking about or what I'm going to do, I've said this is now going to be potential midnight, the name of this color. It's very dark. As a result of it being very dark, we can see that the text has automatically flipped to ensure accessibility standards are met. We can also apply certain colors to headings, which we won't see initially, but if I select a design treatment that implements that, and we've got nice ways of doing that. I can swap out the color. I can tweak the fonts within certain criteria. There we go. Spacing. And if it's a box or not, which this is not a box, so I won't do much. As usual, I can save everything that I'm writing as I do these operations. If I view source, is HTML, the HTML of this page. It's highly semantic, easy to read. We got our little RPG character in there, written text, all that fun stuff. I can download this back out as a doc file, get it as Markdown, a PDF, the schema that powers the system, just the HTML, whatever I want. I can also look at the hierarchy as far as the structure, and if this makes more sense to me, because I got to clean some stuff up, right? I can rapidly delete as well as move parts of this outline structure around. I can find media, whether that's on the local file system, or we could search Wikipedia for ubiquity. We've got a lot of new blocks in the system as of the 10x version. These blocks have been battle tested visually as well as UX-wise, functionality-wise. Especially interesting to online course development, we've got a lot of blocks for instructional purposes. So whether that's multiple choice, true, false, short answer, sorting questions, tagging, matching, marking of words, filling in blanks, whether that's just a nice visual element or whether it's a flashcard, something for self-check of your knowledge, a stop note, code samples. We've got a lot going on here that you can always click, reach out, remix, destroy, add, improve. That image doesn't load because of the way that this local demo is running, by the way. Works in the real one. All right. I believe we've also added image support to sorting. Yes, so we've got our sortable answers. And I could jump in here and answer one. I could select media and sort of, I haven't uploaded anything yet, so I should upload something. And go to pictures. And I want something on my fake desktop. There we go. Ah, there we go. That works. All right, so I could do a purely image-based sorting of items if these had some implementation that called for that. All right, we can check our answers. Save this page. We have all of those questions there with directions and the feedback and questions. So this is the answer. Sweet. All right. Oh no, HAX is a game changer. So if I don't like this design, I've gotten down the road of building the content, I can switch to, let's say, this alternate version. All right, so this one presents slightly less of the content underneath the fold, but then you get the breadcrumb trail as well as where you are with all of the possible items in this path. Got a new page here. Under the blocks, we have all kind of other ones, right? Support for video. We've also got it recording what it is that I put in place, right? So like it knows that I recently used a video or a short answer question or multiple choice, so I can put those there. And we've got tons of blocks, and we're always expanding and adding more. And yes, bulleted lists, of course. On the playground, we can see we fire up our web containers here. So this is showing what other developers can use to learn about the project, build more. We have effectively a terminal window here, but this is not on my computer. It's in the browser. So what this one is doing is loading up a web component, which is the standard developer experience that's used in our classroom. There we go. So we've got boilerplate as far as elements that are made and produced in the classroom, leveraging the DDD design system, as well as lit element. We then use this to teach about the aspects of design systems, such as CSS variables, responsive design, what makes something well designed as far as following a visual uniformity. All right, and we've got a nice baseline element. So this forms the basis. We start into this about 5 weeks into class after we go through some HTML, CSS, and JavaScript fundamentals. This is also live updating this little server over here in this panel. And if I really wanted to, I could have it install additional dependencies. In fact, this server is here running. I can go into my element. And install at HAX the web / simple -button. Apparently I don't have something called simple button. Simple icon. There we go. All right, so I could download simple icon, use that, try all of this in the browser without ever actually installing anything. It is an awesome way to start learning about not just the ecosystem, but about the web more broadly. And it's onboarded a lot of contributors for the project. Another project over the last year, something that came from our classroom, is our fun little RPG character, which with the RPG Me system, you can just make a little person and share it out on X or copy the link so that you can send it to someone else. So we'll produce the same person every single time. It's just a fun little thing that my students made. You can get links off to the command line, tools, Node.js, PHP, a desktop-based version, and more from here. I think that's about everything with HAX, at least that I can think of for this little video. So if you're interested in learning more about the project, please go to hax.psu.edu. Thank you.